Hey everyone. I thought I'd do a practice today. I know for me, this weekend's been really, really busy. And I tend to, I don't know if this happens to you ever, but when you get in that go, go, go flow, um, it just, you can feel I'm aware now that I'm older. My nervous system is just getting a little overactivated. And so I thought I'd do just a very short practice today using a few breathing techniques, a few of our yogic stretches and some affirmations, and even some vocal work just to help us bring online that calming parasympathetic branch of the autonomic nervous system to help like that rest and digest response, right? To kind of calm things down when we need that, when we run into these challenging times. Um, we just did a card pull looking at, how sometimes life can really throw us things that are pretty challenging, and in the moment we can get really in that fight or flight mode, right? Or freeze for some of us. And it's really helpful. I've That's why I've gravitated towards these practices, to have tools, right? Practices that we can use to help kind of calm that initial fight or flight response. There's a time and place for it, but we do, when the crisis is subsided, it would be so great to have tools where we could kind of allow our nervous system to kind of take a break, then calm down, so that we can start to see, move into that broader perspective again, right? And not to mention, it's so good for us physically and mentally. Just, yeah, really healthy. So today's practice, like I said, short. It can all be done seated. So if you want to be seated on a cushion on the floor, that's fine. Or even on a chair is totally great, on your couch, wherever is comfortable for you. We will start just by taking the hands, just resting down on your knees or thighs. You can just open up the chest. And then when you're ready, either softening your gaze or slowly closing your eyes. And take a nice deep breath all the way in your nose and out your mouth. Let's do that again. Just deep breath all the way in and then all the way out. Just letting yourself settle into stillness. And you can just take one hand to your chest and one hand to your belly. And let your breath in this moment just naturally do whatever it's doing. And just observe that. And it always is so amazing when we just take that, our focus on our breath, that it just naturally begins to settle and move into this flow, very helpful flow, all on its own. Your next inhale, we're going to send the breath all the way down as if it's going into your belly. So feeling expansion in your belly, like you're blowing up a balloon in the belly, all the way to the top. And then exhale, let that breath release. Let your chest fall and your belly soften. And then inhale again through the nose, into the belly, up into the chest. And then exhale either through the nose or mouth. Let it all soften. And again, inhale through the belly, into the belly, up into the chest. And this time on your exhale, the option to just make either a hum or maybe a sigh sound. Okay, so inhaling again into the belly, up into the chest. Exhale, either a hum or a sigh. So this humming or sighing, it activates a very important nerve. So continuing with your breath, called the vagus nerve. And when this nerve is activated, it sends that signal to that rest and digest response in our nervous system to come online. Let's do one more just like that. right, and then come back into your natural breath. And just taking a note, just those few deep breaths, how you're feeling in this moment. All right, when you're ready, you can let the hands rest down on your knees or thighs, and slowly opening your eyes, bring yourself back to the space. And we're going to work with some neck circles today. So taking a deep breath in, and on the exhale, we're going to let your right ear come towards the right shoulder, so it doesn't need to touch, but just till you're feeling a nice stretch all along the left side of the neck. Deep breath in and out. And on our exhale, we're going to allow the chin to roll forward, chin to chest. Inhale, we're going to slowly semicircle around so the left ear is towards the left shoulder. And pause here for a breath. Deep breath in. And then exhale, allowing the chin to rotate forward towards the chest. Inhale, the other side. Now we're going to flow with our breath. So exhale, allowing the chin to come towards chest. Take your time. You want to move at a different pace to me, that's fine. Just flow with your breath. So exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, ear to shoulder. Let your breath lead. So when we access those deep breaths down into our belly, this also helps activate that vagus nerve and brings that rest and digest back online. Let's go one more time. So we're going to end with the left ear towards the left shoulder. And then exhale again, chin to chest. And then take your time. We're going to inhale our head back up to neutral. Nice. Take a deep breath in and out. So we're going to do some yes and no nods now. So take a deep breath in. So some yes nods. And take your time. Try and get that full range of motion here. Chin to chest. And then head back. Nice and easy. And then coming to neutral. And then we're going to do some no nods. So chin towards the left shoulder and then through center. Chin towards the right. Remember to breathe. And when you're ready, just bringing the head back to neutral. Now, if you're like me and you've been in a seated cross-leg position for a little while, feel free to take the legs just out front, give them a little shake. If you're on a chair, you're probably fine. If you need to, reposition to get comfortable, feel free. If you're in the cross-leg position, we're going to cross the legs again, but we're going to go in the opposite direction. Okay, there we go. All right, and we're going to move through a little bit of seated cat and cow. So we've done the tabletop version many times. In the seated version, either the hands can be on the knees or on the shins, whatever feels more supportive for you. I always enjoy on the knees. And then on an inhale, we're opening up the chest and chin, rotating of the pelvis. And then exhale, you can use your shins or your knees for support. We're tucking the chin and pelvis and arching the spine back. So it's inhale, make that space for the inhale, exhale. And so feel free to close your eyes and really sink into your practice. And just see if you can just nice, deep, full breaths. Lead with the breath. Feeling the stretch in your neck and shoulders. Really tuning into the sensations. Let's go 3 more full cycles. I am feeling a huge stretch in the shoulders and the neck. One more full cycle. And then inhale, coming back into that neutral seated position. Just pause here for one breath and tune into your body. Feel the space you've created in your neck and shoulders. Nice. All right. And now we're going to move into a little bit of a twist to kind of get into the shoulders a little bit more. So we're going to take the hands out to the sides, palms facing up. Inhale, we're going to float all the way up, get nice and tall. And then exhale, we're going to allow that left hand to come to the right knee and the right hand comes behind. So just a nice, gentle, not maybe the biggest seated twist we've ever done, but your gaze can go over that right shoulder if that feels good on the neck. And with the inhale, trying to reach the crown of the head up, getting that length on the inhale. Trying to maintain a deep quality of inhale and exhale. Taking our time. No rush. 2 more full breaths. And then exhale, let's release around to center. 1 full breath. Nice. And then the hands out to the sides. Inhale, flow all the way up. And then exhale, twist on the other side. So right hand comes onto left knee, left hand back behind. Gaze can go over the left shoulder. Deep breath. And growing tall on the inhale. And sinking a little deeper on the exhale. Two more deep breaths. And then exhale, let's release to center. So take a few deep breaths here. Feeling the space you've created. On your next inhale, we're going to move into some shoulder rolls. So inhale, rolling forward and down. Inhale, up and forward. Exhale, down. As fast or as slow as you'd like. And when you're ready, opposite direction. So inhaling forward and up, exhale down. Nice. And now we're going to just take a moment, and one of the simplest, most underrated things, give ourselves a little bit of a shoulder massage. So just taking one hand, maybe the right hand, to the left neck and the left shoulder, and just deep breath. Use your fingers just to get into any final tight muscles. With every exhale, just see if you can release any of that tightness or tension just a little bit more. Nice. And then we'll move to the other side. So left hand to the right shoulder and the right neck, right side of the right neck. It's one of the simplest things to do, right? You know, you're working at your desk, and I just overlook it often. And anytime I do remember, I'm always like, oh yeah, why didn't I do that about 15 minutes ago? It feels so nice. All right. And then coming back to our seated position. So we're going to do something a little bit interesting. And I discovered this. Feel free to reshift the legs if you need to. I felt like I wanted to do that. I discovered this maybe a couple years ago, and super powerful. It was actually, oh yeah, I was like, it was from my acupuncturist that actually mentioned this to me. The idea that the eye movement is very much connected to the cranial nerves, And vagus nerve being a really, we're just talking about a very important cranial nerve, connected to that parasympathetic nervous system, that rest and digest response. So a really quick, easy way to access that is through some eye movement. And so what we're going to do is super simple. Is getting in a comfortable seated position. We're just going to take your eyes and we're like leaving the head exactly where it is, neutral. Okay, we're not moving the head. We're just going to take your actual eyeballs and move them towards the right. So looking, I don't know if you can see mine in the camera, but I'm looking as far right as I can go. I'm staying with my deep breath. And I'm going to hold it there for about 5 breaths. So I'm looking far, far, far to the right without moving my head. A couple more breaths. And you might notice, I feel one coming on, either a big yawn like I just did, or maybe a sigh. And that's a super sign that you've just brought your parasympathetic nervous system online. And so then when you're ready, just bringing the eyes through forward direction, rest here for a breath. And then we're going to do that again, but this time keeping the head centered, neutral, not moving the head. We're going to bring the eyes to the left. So I'm just bringing my eyeballs as far left as I can go, looking far over towards, I don't know if you can see Bergie on the couch today, but she's way over there. I'm looking at her and I'm sinking into that deep breath. So keeping my gaze towards the left. Deep breath. And you might feel that urge again. I'm feeling it coming on. Either to yawn or to sigh. Keeping the eyes to the left. Let's go one more breath. And then on the next exhale, coming back to center. So I found that one to be really powerful, especially at night when sometimes, we've had a really hectic day. The nervous system is really activated. It's really hard to sink into a restful state to actually fall asleep and have a good sleep. That's just something simple you can do, right? You can do a few rounds of that eye movement, just lying in bed with some deep breath, and it works miracles. I'm not even kidding. It's really powerful for calming the nervous system down. Okay, so the last couple things we're going to do, I'm going to move into just another little breathing exercise called Ujjayi breath in yoga, also known as oceanic breath. It's a little tough to get. If it's like, you know what, not today, you can just always use that deep abdominal breath that we started with off the top, where you're blowing up that balloon in the belly on the inhale and then letting it go on the exhale. So that's a very good option. We're actually all going to start with that right now. So deep breath into the belly. You can bring both hands to the belly if that helps. Exhale, release, softening, letting the balloon blow out. I'm going to do a few rounds of that. Take your time. And when you're ready to move into the Ujjayi breath, you're going to, it's a slight constriction in the back of the throat. Let me see if I can, I'll do a couple rounds. So you're still allowing the air to move in and out. But with that slight constriction in the back of the throat, you hear this almost oceanic sound, more of a sound with the inhale and exhale. And don't worry if you can't quite get that sound perfectly. I find it a lot easier to do on the inhale. Takes a little practice. And it just naturally slows our breath down. And again, really helps to activate that vagal nerve, and goes right down through the neck, all the way down to all of our main organs in the body. So our next inhale in the Ujjayi breath or abdominal breath, whichever you choose, we're going to inhale for a count of 4. And exhale for a count of 6, or as close to 6 as you can get. So inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Two more rounds. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Then releasing the technique. Coming back to your natural breath, and just take a moment now, again, to tune in, perhaps with the eyes closed, and just noticing how you're feeling. Physically, mentally. Is your mind busy or quiet? Without any judgment, just noticing what's there. And then emotionally, how are you feeling? And the option now to say quietly to yourself an affirmation of gratitude. I'm grateful for this moment, and I release what I no longer need. I'm grateful for this moment, and I release what I no longer need. Last time, inhale. I am grateful for this moment. Exhale. I release what I no longer need. Beautiful. And bring the palms together. We'll press the thumbs into the heart center. There's an option here for doing an Om together, if you feel comfortable doing so. Again, the wonderful thing with any kind of the humming or the sound, singing is also amazing, is it really activates that vagal nerve very effectively to calm down the nervous system. So let's try this together. So deep breath in and exhale. Om. Deep breath in, exhale. Om. Deep breath in, exhale. Om. Deep breath in, exhale, release. Just in one final moment of gratitude for this time and space for our practice today. Really feeling that gratitude throughout your body. Namaste. So take a final moment. Really feel how you feel in the space right now, right? So, not too long of a practice today. We didn't even get off the ground, right? But a lot of focus on our neck and our shoulders, some focus with some breath work, with our using our vocal cords, all to kind of tap into that vagus nerve and that parasympathetic nervous system, to bring that online to kind of calm our nervous system down so that we can gain that broader perspective, right? And just move into every moment of our day with a little more clarity. So, hopefully, you found that helpful. And remember, you can take any one of those little things that we did today, even a few, like a minute of doing one of those things can really help. And that's the wonderful thing I love about this video online, your at home experience. You can make all those sounds that you want, right? It doesn't matter. You're not in a class. You have to worry about, ooh, I don't want to sound a certain way in front of people. You're in your own space. You can do whatever you need for yourself. Feel comfortable doing that. And I hope you really enjoyed that today. All right. I hope you guys have a really great rest of your week. Until next time, if you like this, feel free to, subscribe or hit that like button, leave a comment, other kind of practices that you'd like to see on this channel. I know I've been kind of working with like card pulls and with my yoga practice because those are just things like I absolutely love. But I'm totally open to other ideas in those areas. Maybe length of practices or different areas of the body you'd like to work on, things like that. So feel free to leave that in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. All right, take care, everyone. Bye.